This woman will destroy us, Mama Cunnel said. We have to remove her. How? Cunnel asked. I can't kill her. Police will arrest me. We will say she is mad, Beezy suggested. Let them come and carry her. Mama Cunnel's voice dropped. We will crush sleeping tablets in her tea. When she passes out, we call psychiatric people. We tell them she is violent, talking to herself, attacking everybody. They will take her. While she is there, you file for divorce and take Zara. Hey bestie. You know how life in Africa can be, full of drama, love, and unexpected turns. Today's story is one of those that will make you laugh, think, and maybe even tear up a little. So grab your tea, get comfortable, and let your bestie tell you a story. Don't forget to drop a comment. We'd love to hear what this story meant to you. Ada Okafor was 32, a criminal lawyer in Lagos, known in court for her sharp voice and steady mind. On that Tuesday afternoon, she was in her office, reading through a case file, when the intercom on her table buzzed. Ma, your sister is here, her secretary said. But she doesn't look okay. The small pause before those last words sat heavy in the room. Send her in. And hold all my calls, Ada replied. A few seconds later, the door opened. Amaka stood there, framed in the doorway. She wore big dark sunglasses, even though she was indoors. Her blouse had long sleeves. A scarf was tied around her neck. She walked like one side of her body hurt with every step. They were identical twins, but the woman at the door looked like a faded copy of the sister Ada knew. Amaka's shoulders were bent, as if she was trying to shrink. Her fingers clutched her handbag tightly. Her lips trembled. Ada moved away from her desk and closed the office door herself. Then she turned the lock. Come and sit, she said. Amaka did not move to the chair. She just stood, breathing fast, as if she was not sure she was allowed to sit. Ada stepped closer and looked at her properly. Something inside her went cold. The glasses were too big. The scarf was too tight. The long sleeves, in this heat, made no sense. Take off the glasses, Ada said. Amaka shook her head, tears already forming. Amaka, take them off. When she still refused, Ada reached out slowly and lifted the sunglasses away. Underneath, one eye was almost shut from swelling. The skin around it was dark and ugly. Her lower lip was split. A long scratch cut across her cheek. There was powder on the bruises, but it only made them more obvious. Ada stared at her twin. For a moment, it felt like she was looking at herself in a broken mirror. Who did this? Ada asked. Amaka's mouth opened, but no sound came out. Her gaze dropped to the floor. Ada noticed the scarf again. She untied it gently. Around Amaka's neck were clear finger marks. Dark, deep, the shape of a hand that had pressed down hard. Roll up your sleeves, Ada said. Ada, please, Amaka whispered. Roll them up. Slowly, Amaka pushed her sleeves to her elbows. Her arms were covered in marks. Old yellow bruises fading away. Fresh purple ones sitting on top of them. Long, straight lines like belt marks. Small round spots that looked like burns. The skin on her wrists was rough and dark, like rope had cut it many times. Ada took it all in. She had seen injury pictures as a lawyer, but never like this. This was her twin. Someone had turned her into a punching bag. How long? Ada asked quietly. Amaka wiped her nose with the back of her hand. 3 years, she said, barely audible. It started 6 months after the wedding. 3 years. While Ada was in court fighting for strangers, her own sister had been living in fear. Ada stepped forward and held her. At first, Amaka stood stiff in her arms. Then her body broke. She began to cry loud and raw, the way a child cries when the pain is too much. In that moment, one thing settled inside Ada. This would not continue. Whoever had done this to Amaka was going to pay for every single bruise. Ada did not let go of Amaka until the crying slowed. Then she guided her to the chair in front of the desk. Sit, she said gently. Start from the beginning. I need to know everything. Amaka sat down, shoulders still shaking. She held a tissue in one hand and twisted it until it tore. It was not always like this, she began. When I met Cunnel, he was sweet. She told Ada about the first days. Cunnel had a sales job. He dressed well, spoke well, and knew how to impress people. He brought food to her school during break. He sent long messages. He told her she was the best thing that ever happened to him. At the wedding, Amaka said, he cried during his speech. He said he would protect me, love me, do anything for me. I believed him. After the wedding, small changes started. He wanted to know where she was every minute. If she did not pick his call at once, he would call again and again. At first, he said it was care, she said. He said Lagos is dangerous, anything can happen. I felt special. Then he started to complain about her clothes. A dress was too tight. A blouse was too bright. He said other men were looking at her. He said she was his wife, and his wife must dress decent. So I changed my clothes, Amaka said. I stopped wearing things he didn't like. After that, it was her friends. He said they were single, they did not respect marriage, they would spoil her mind. He told her to stop going out with them. Then it was family. He said you make me feel small, Amaka whispered. He said you always show off your big job, your big life, and I start to hate my own life. Ada stared at her. Did I ever do that? Amaka shook her head quickly. No, but I was tired. I did not want to argue. So I stopped calling as much. I stopped visiting. The distance grew. Ada was busy with work and assumed married life had simply taken over. She did not see that something darker was happening. The first time he hit me, Amaka said, it was about dustbin. It had been a normal weekday. She forgot to roll the bin out. Kunal came home tired and smelling of alcohol. He saw the bin still inside the compound and snapped. He dragged me outside by my hair, she said, voice flat. He pushed my face against the bin and said if I wanted to behave like dirt, I should stay with dirt. The next morning he cried, bought flowers and begged. He said it was stress. He said it would never happen again. It did, she added softly. Many times. Whenever he lost money on betting, she paid. Whenever he had a bad day at work, she paid. Whenever his mother complained, she paid. A year into the marriage, Mama Kunal moved in for a short time. She never left. Soon after, his sister Beezy joined them, also without paying anything. They treated me like maid, Amaka said. If I talk back, they report me to him. He beats me again. Then there was Zara. Amaka's eyes filled with tears at the name. She is only 5, she whispered. Last week, she was crying at night. She said she was scared. Kunal shouted at her to keep quiet. When she did not stop, he slapped her. Hard. On her face. Amaka said she ran to hold the child. Kunal grabbed her by the throat and choked her. He slammed her head again and again while Mama Kunal and Beezy watched. That is the night these bruises came, she said, touching her swollen eye. I tried to leave before, she added. He always found me. He said if I take Zara, he will kill me. I believe him, Ada. I know he can do it. She looked up at her sister with empty, tired eyes. I don't know what to do again. I just knew I had to come here. Ada watched her for a long moment. 3 years of silent pain had sat in front of her, and she had almost missed it. Now, she knew she would not miss the next step. For a while, Ada said nothing. The office was quiet except for Amaka's slow breathing and the sound of tissue twisting in her hand. Okay, Ada said at last. We can't change the last 3 years, but we can control the next 3 days. Amaka looked up. 3 days? Yes. Give me 3 days. Stay away from that house. Stay away from Kunal. Let me handle him. How? Amaka asked. Ada moved back to her chair and watched her sister closely. You remember when we were young, she said. How we used to confuse people. Same face, same height, same voice. Teachers could not tell us apart. Amaka gave a small, weak smile. You're the one that liked to switch. And you're the one that always panicked and confessed after 10 minutes, Ada replied. But this time, you will not be there to panic. Amaka stared at her. Ada, what are you saying? I want us to switch, Ada said. You will stay in my flat. I will go to your house and be you. Silence followed. Go to that house? Amaka repeated. To Kunal? To his mother? To Beezy? They will kill you. They can try, Ada said. I am not you, Amaka. You are gentle. You avoid trouble. But I am different. She spoke in a steady tone, listing facts. I face angry men in court every week. I cross-examine people who lie for a living. I argue with judges. I know the law. I know my rights. And apart from that, I train. I box 3 times a week. I know how to take a punch. I know how to give one. I know how to defend myself if anybody tries nonsense with me. Amaka shook her head. Kunal is still dangerous. When he is angry, he just acts. And his family will join him. Good, Ada said. Let them all act. Let them show themselves. We will use it. She leaned forward. This is the plan. You will stay in my place. You will rest. You will not call Kunal. You will not go near that house. I will go there as you. I will watch him. I will provoke him. I will record everything. Every threat, every slap he tries, every insult from his mother and sister. I will build a case. Amaka swallowed. Record? Yes. With your consent, Ada replied. It is your house. Your life. I will not do anything behind your back. But you must understand something. The normal system is slow. Police come and go. Files get lost. People lie. If we are going to win, we need proof. Amaka was quiet for a long time. Her fingers stopped moving. If we do this, she said at last, what will happen at the end of 3 days? At the end of 3 days, Ada said, Kunal will sign your freedom, or he will face prison. But either way, he will never touch you or Zara again. For the first time that day, hope moved across Amaka's face. 3 days, she whispered. 3 days, Ada agreed. And we start now. Once the plan was set, Ada moved fast. She took Amaka home to her own flat first. She gave her a change of clothes, pain tablets, and food. She put Zara's small bag on the table. Sleep here, Ada told her. Lock the door. Don't open for anybody except me. If Kunal calls, don't answer. If he sends a message, don't reply. Amaka nodded, still looking unsure, but too tired to argue. Ada then stood in front of the mirror and began to turn herself into her twin. She loosened her hair and packed it the way Amaka liked. She changed into one of Amaka's simple gowns, flat slippers, and a light cardigan. She removed her light makeup. When she looked up again, Amaka's face stared back. You look like me, Amaka said quietly. That is the point, Ada replied. Now, give me your bunch of keys. Amaka handed her the keys with a shaking hand. Ada took them and squeezed her fingers. Remember, Ada said, you are safe here. Zara is safe with you. I am the one going there now, not you. From there, Ada went straight to the house in Surulere. She opened the small gate with Amaka's key, walked into the compound, and unlocked the front door like she had done it every day. No one questioned it. She was, after all, Amaka in their eyes. The sitting room was as she remembered from old visits. Only now it felt heavy with tension she could almost touch. Mama Kunal sat on the sofa with a wrapper around her waist, scrolling through her phone. Beezy lay on another cushion, watching something on TV and chewing. Mama Kunal did not look up. So you finally remember you have a home, she said. Where have you been since morning? You know what time Kunal comes back. Food is not even ready. Ada lowered her eyes slightly, copying Amaka's old posture, shoulders bent, voice soft. I'll go to the kitchen now, Ma, she said. Beezy snorted. Better hurry. I don't have strength for Kunal's shouting today. Ada walked into the kitchen, opened drawers and cupboards, and began to study everything. She checked where the knives were, where spices were kept, where Zara's small plates were. She moved calmly, but inside her mind was sharp, taking note of every small thing. As she rinsed rice, she heard light footsteps at the stairs. She turned. Zara was standing there in her small dress, holding a doll with one arm. Her big eyes were wide, watching Ada like she was not sure if this was her mother or not. Mommy, Zara whispered. Ada felt something hit her chest. She wiped her hands quickly and opened her arms. Come, she said. Zara ran into her. Her little body was stiff at first, then slowly relaxed. Ada held her, feeling how thin she was, how used she was to holding her breath. You didn't come back yesterday night, Zara said. Grandma said you went to learn sense. Ada swallowed anger. I'm here now, she said simply. Go and sit. I'll bring your food. All through the cooking, Mama Kunal complained from the sitting room. Beezy shouted for drinks and snacks. Ada answered with short words, playing the quiet wife they knew, but inside she was measuring their behavior like evidence. By the time she finished cooking and set the table, Kunal was not yet home. His empty chair at the head of the table felt like a warning and a promise. Ada watched Zara eat slowly, eyes always moving, ready to jump at any raised voice. She watched Mama Kunal push her plate away and complain that the stew did not taste the way she liked it. She watched Beezy drop her spoon and leave her used plate on the table without a word. She said nothing. She only watched and stored everything in her mind. This first night was not for fighting. It was for learning. When it was time, she took Zara upstairs, helped her change, and lay beside her on the bed until the little girl's breathing became steady. Kunal's key did not yet turn in the front door, but Ada knew it was only a matter of time. The lion had not come home, but she was already inside his den waiting. Ada lay beside Zara until the girl slept, then slipped out of the room and closed the door gently. Downstairs, Mama Kunal was still on the sofa, dozing with the TV talking to itself. Beezy was on her phone, her feet on the center table. The food for Cunnel was covered on the dining table, waiting. A little while later, the sound of a car outside broke the quiet. The front door opened with force. Cunnel's heavy steps entered the sitting room. "Where is my wife?" he shouted. "Amaka." Ada walked out from the passage, wiping her hands on a small towel. She kept her back straight, but her eyes low, just enough to look like the beaten version of her sister. "I'm here," she said. Cunnel's shirt was half open, his tie hanging loose around his neck. The smell of alcohol followed him. He did not greet anybody. "Is my food ready?" he asked. "Yes," Ada answered. "I'll serve it now." She brought his plate to the dining table. Rice, stew, and meat. She had cooked it well, but she had also made a small change, just for her own quiet message. The stew was a little plain, not as sweet as the house liked it. Cunnel sat, took a spoon, and scooped food into his mouth. The change showed on his face at once. "What is this?" he snapped. "What kind of tasteless food is this?" Mama Cunnel straightened in her seat. "I have told you," she added quickly. "This girl cannot cook. Always serving rubbish." Beezy laughed from the sofa. "At least she can boil water," she said. "Sometimes." Ada stood by the table, watching him. Her hands were calm at her sides. Cunnel dropped the spoon with force. "I work all day," he said, voice rising. "And come home to this nonsense? You are useless." He pushed back his chair and walked towards her. Ada did not move. She watched every line of his face, every step. This was the moment Amaka had described many times, the start of the slap. He came close, chest almost touching hers. "So you now want to be forming strong, ABI?" he said. "Talking back to my mother, dragging your feet, cooking rubbish. You have forgotten yourself." His hand pulled back. Ada had been waiting. In Amaka's stories, the slap always came sudden and open-handed. It was quick and loud, meant to shock and shame. Tonight, Cunnel followed the same pattern. His palm moved in a fast arc toward her face. Ada's hand shot up. She caught his wrist in the air. The sound was not a slap but a grab. For a second, nobody moved. Cunnel's eyes widened. He tried to pull his hand away. Ada tightened her grip, just enough to send pain through his arm. "Leave my son's hand," Mama Cunnel shouted, standing up. Beezy dropped her phone. "Amaka, are you mad?" Ada did not look at them. Her eyes stayed on Cunnel. "Don't raise your hand at me again," she said quietly. "Not today. Not ever." Cunnel tried to twist free. He was taller and broader, but she was ready. Years of boxing, and all the anger in her chest sat in her muscles. She held him there, his raised hand useless, his face full of shock, then slowly released him. He stumbled a little, dropping his arm, his pride more bruised than his body. "What has entered you?" he asked, voice lower, confused. Ada picked up the fallen spoon from the floor and placed it back on the table. "Your food is getting cold," she said. "If you don't want it, leave it." Then she turned and walked away towards the passage, not rushing, not bending, leaving him standing there. For the first time in that house, the slap did not land. Cunnel stood in the parlor for a long moment, his hands still tingling where Ada had gripped him. His mother and sister kept shouting, but he did not answer them. Something in the house had shifted, and all of them felt it. That night, Ada moved quietly. When everyone finally went to their rooms, she went upstairs, checked on Zara, then entered the main bedroom. She closed the door, locked it, and brought out a small camera from her bag. It was the kind that could sit on a shelf and look like a normal charger head. Amaka had given her full permission before she came. It was Amaka's room, Amaka's marriage, Amaka's fight. Ada was only standing in front. She fixed one camera on the bedside table, pointing it at the center of the room. She slipped a small audio recorder into a corner of the wardrobe. She checked the red lights, made sure everything was working, then lay on the bed and waited. Cunnel did not come in that night. He slept in the sitting room, angry and confused. By morning, Ada had a full plan. She woke Zara, bathed her, and got her ready for school. She made breakfast for the child and served Mama Cunnel and Beezy without complaint. They avoided her eyes but whispered to each other whenever she left the room. Cunnel sat on the sofa with his phone, watching her. There was a tight look in his face, like a man who did not understand his own house anymore. After taking Zara to school, Ada returned alone. As she locked the gate behind her, Cunnel stood up. "We need to talk," he said. "Inside." He led the way to the bedroom. Ada followed calm. The camera's small light was already on. As soon as the door closed, he turned on her. "What is wrong with you?" he demanded. "Since when do you hold my hand like that in front of my mother? In front of my sister? Are you crazy?" He stepped close and grabbed her arm. His fingers dug into her skin, tight and painful, right where old bruises already sat. "You are hurting me," Ada said evenly. "Good," he replied, squeezing harder. "Maybe you will remember your place. You are my wife. I own this house. I own you." The camera watched everything. Ada did not pull away. She let him grip her longer than she needed to, counting seconds in her head. Every squeeze was evidence. Every word was proof. When his hand drew back for a punch, she moved. She shifted her weight, blocked his arm, and swept his leg. Connell went down, hitting the floor with a heavy sound. He stared up at her, stunned. "Don't ever try that again," she said, voice low. Then she stepped back and left the room, leaving him breathing hard on the floor. It did not take long for him to react. 1 hour later, 2 police officers arrived at the gate. Connell had called them, voice full of fake fear, saying his wife had attacked him. Ada met them at the door, dressed simply, scarf around her neck to hide some of Amaka's marks. "Good morning, officers," she said. "My husband called you. Please come in." Connell rushed forward. "Oga, this woman has been disturbing this house. She pushed me down. She is not stable. I am afraid for my life." The older officer looked from Connell to Ada, then to the house. "Madam, what happened?" he asked. "Before I answer, please see this," Ada replied. She handed them a neat brown file she had prepared the night before. Inside were copies of Amaka's hospital reports, old pictures of injuries, and printed photos she had taken with her phone. The officer opened it. His eyes moved slowly over the pages. Broken wrist. Black eyes. Bruised ribs. Cuts on the face. Notes from doctors who had been told fake stories about falling or hitting doors. "How long has this been going on?" he asked quietly. 3 years, Ada said. "He beats me. He chokes me. He threatens to kill me if I leave. This morning, when I tried to stand my ground, he tried to hit me again. I only defended myself." She then brought out her phone. "I also have a video from today," she said. The clip played, Connell grabbing her arm, shouting, pulling back to hit, before she dropped him. The camera angle was clear. The sound was clear. The younger officer looked shocked. The older one's face hardened. He turned to Connell. "Mr. Connell," he said, "from what I'm seeing here, you are the one that should be in trouble." Connell's mouth opened, but no words came out. "We will write a full report," the officer continued. "Madam, if he touches you again, call us. We will not take it easy." Ada nodded slowly. The first record was now official. After the officers left, the house was quiet in a strange way. Connell did not shout again that morning. He sat on the edge of a chair, staring at nothing, his pride cut open. The warning from the older officer still hung in the air. "If we get called back here, you will be arrested." Mama Connell broke the silence first. "So you have carried our matter to police," she said, looking at Ada like she was a stranger. "You want to disgrace my son." Beezy folded her arms. "This your new boldness, we will reset it." Ada did not answer. She simply picked up the file from the table and took it back to the bedroom. Every step she took was slow and steady. She wanted them to feel the change. By afternoon, the whispers started. They gathered in corners, pausing whenever she entered. Doors closed more quietly. Calls were made in low voices. Ada acted like she did not notice, but inside she was alert. That evening, Beezy's plan arrived. A tall man came into the house, broad shoulders, loud voice, smelling of cheap perfume. Beezy rushed to him with a smile. "Teo, this is my brother's wife," she said. "The one forming strong." They sat in the sitting room. Connell watched from a corner. Mama Connell sat with her wrapper, eyes sharp. Teo leaned forward, studying Ada from head to toe. "I hear you've been giving my guy problem," he said. "Talking anyhow." Raising hand. "You don't know men in Lagos." Ada did not flinch. "Is there any reason you are in another man's house threatening his wife?" she asked, voice flat. Beezy hissed. "Look at the way she is talking. You better fear Teo today." Teo stood up, came closer, and reached out like he wanted to push Ada back, just to prove a point. The moment his hand touched her shoulder, she moved. One quick step. One firm hold. One simple twist of his body. The next second, Teo was on the floor, flat on his back, the center table pushed aside. The sound echoed through the house. He groaned, shocked. What is this?" Ada looked down at him. "If you touch me again," she said calmly, "I will call those same officers back. This time it will be you they carry to the station. Assault in another man's house is not a joke. And this place has cameras now." She pointed to one small black dot near the TV. Teo's eyes followed it. He jumped up, dusted himself, and without another word, walked out of the house. Beezy ran after him, shouting his name. That night, Ada did not sleep early. She sat on the bed with earphones, listening to the audio recorder she had hidden in Mama Cunnell's room earlier. The small device had picked up everything. Voices flowed into her ears. "This woman will destroy us," Mama Cunnell said. "We have to remove her." "How?" Cunnell asked. "I can't beat her. Police will arrest me." "We will say she is mad," Beezy suggested. "Let them come and carry her." Mama Cunnell's voice dropped. "We will crush sleeping tablets in her tea. When she passes out, we call psychiatric people. We tell them she is violent, talking to herself, attacking everybody. They will take her. While she is there, you file for divorce and take Zara." Ada listened to the whole plan, every word, every evil detail. When it ended, she switched off the recorder and lay back on the bed. "So you want to drug me," she murmured. "All right, let's play." Morning came. As usual, Ada got Zara ready for school and took her out. When she returned, she walked into the kitchen and met Mama Cunnell already there, standing by the gas cooker with 2 cups on a tray. "Ah, you are back," Mama Cunnell said, too sweet. "You look tired. Let me make tea for you." She turned slightly, thinking Ada could not see her hand. She brought out a small cart of tablets, pushed some into a spoon, crushed them, and poured the white powder into 1 cup. She stirred and stirred. Ada watched from the doorway, saying nothing. When the tea was ready, Mama Cunnell brought it into the sitting room. "Here, drink," she said, forcing a smile. "You need to rest your head." Ada took the cup, lifted it to her mouth, and pretended to sip. The liquid touched her lips but did not pass her tongue. "Thank you, Ma," she said. When the woman turned away, Ada calmly carried the cup to a flower pot in the corner and emptied it into the soil. Then she sat down and waited. After a few minutes, she let her head drop slowly to the side. Her body relaxed. Her breathing became slow and deep. From the passage, whispers came. "Is it working?" Beezy asked. "Check her," Cunnell said. They came closer. A hand shook her shoulder. "Amaka? Amaka?" Ada did not move. "She is out," Mama Cunnell said, satisfied. "Call them now. Tell them she is mad." As Cunnell pulled out his phone, Ada opened her eyes. All 3 of them jumped back. "I didn't drink it," she said quietly. "I watched you crush the tablets. I watched you pour it. And I recorded everything." The color drained from their faces. "This is attempted poisoning," Ada continued. "In Lagos, that is not a small matter. And your plan to lie that I am mad so they can carry me? That one too is a crime." For the first time since she entered that house, fear sat clearly on all their faces. For a long second, nobody spoke. Cunnell still held his phone in his hand. Beezy's mouth was open. Mama Cunnell's fingers shook. Ada stood up slowly. "Everybody, sit at the dining table," she said. "Now." Something in her voice made them obey. They moved like people going to face an exam they did not prepare for. Cunnell sat at the head. Mama Cunnell and Beezy sat on the sides. Ada took the opposite end and dropped her bag on the table. She unzipped it and began to bring things out. First a neat brown file, then a smaller envelope, then a flash drive, then her phone. She arranged everything in front of them. "This," she said, touching the file, "is 3 years of what you people have done to Amaka." She opened it. On the first page were photos of Amaka's face, arms, and back. Some old, some fresh, bruises in different colors, cuts, swollen eyes. Beezy swallowed. "Where did you get all this?" "Hospital reports," Ada replied. "From all the times she came with lies about falling down. Broken wrist, cracked ribs, deep cuts, all under your roof." She turned another page. More documents, more photos. "These," she continued, "are records of every time neighbors heard shouting and called to ask if she was okay. Voice notes she sent to a friend and later deleted. Copies of messages where Cunnell apologized after beating her. She slid a printed bank statement to Cunnell. "This is your betting history," she said. "Money going out every week. Salary disappearing. After that, she becomes punching bag." She turned to Mama Cunnell. "And you," she said. "Your hidden savings in Abafo. The money from your late husband's settlement that you pretended you did not have. You have enough to live on your own, but you stayed here to control and insult her." The older woman's eyes went wide. "How do you know that one?" "I know," Ada said simply. "Don't worry about how." She picked up the small envelope, opened it, and showed them printed screenshots. These are from the video, she said. Cunnel grabbing my arm in the room, pulling back to hit me. I have the full recording on this flash drive. She tapped it. And this, she added, lifting her phone, is your sweet plan from last night. You, all three of you, planning to drug me and lie that I am mad so they can carry me away and you will take Zara. She played a short part. Their own voices filled the dining room. There was no way to deny it. Cunnel's shoulders dropped. Beezy's eyes filled with tears. Mama Cunnel started to shake her head. You can't do this, she whispered. You want to scatter this family. Ada looked at them one by one. You already scattered it, she said. You turned my sister's life into punishment. You beat her, insulted her, almost killed her. You slapped a 5-year-old child. I did not do any of that. You did. She closed the file and folded her hands. Now, let me introduce myself well, she said. I am not Amaka. They stared at her. I am Ada, she continued. Her twin sister. A criminal lawyer. For the past 3 days, I have been in this house as her, watching you, recording you, collecting proof. Beezy covered her mouth. Twin? Cunnel looked like somebody had pulled the floor from under him. Ada did not smile. You have 2 choices, she said. Only 2. She raised one finger. Number 1, I take all this to the police and the director of public prosecutions. I push for charges. Domestic violence. Assault. Child abuse. Attempted poisoning. Conspiracy. Between the 3 of you, you can easily face many years in prison. She raised a second finger. Number 2, you sign the divorce papers I have prepared. Cunnel gives Amaka full custody of Zara. No visitation. You agree to pay monthly child support. The house stays with Amaka. All 3 of you leave and stay away. We get restraining orders. They were silent, breathing hard. You have until 5 p.m. today, Ada said. If you don't pick, I will pick number 1 myself. She packed the file and flash drive back into her bag, stood up, and pushed her chair back. I'm going to pick Zara from school, she added. When I come back, you will tell me your answer. Then she walked away, leaving them at the table, sitting in their own fear. Ada left them at the table and drove to Zara's school. On the way, she called Amaka. Are you okay? Amaka asked. Yes, Ada said. I have given them their options. I am coming to pick you and Zara. Be ready. By the time they reached the flat in Yaba, Zara was already running around, telling small stories. Amaka hugged her and held her close, then looked at Ada with worried eyes. What did they say? She asked. They have not decided, Ada replied. But they will. Fear will help them think. Ada brought out the divorce papers she had drafted the night before. Names were filled in. Terms were clear. Only signatures were left. We are going back there together, she said. It is time for them to see who you really are. Amaka's hands shook, but she nodded. Later that afternoon, Ada drove back to Surulere with Amaka and Zara. As they walked into the house, 3 faces turned toward them. Cunnel, Beezy, and Mama Cunnel froze. Seeing one Amaka was normal to them. Seeing 2 identical women standing side by side was like a slap. I told you, Beezy whispered. I told you something was wrong. Ada did not waste time. You know who I am already, she said. This is the real Amaka, the woman you have been beating, the mother of the child you slapped. Amaka stood straighter than she had in a long time. Zara's small hand held onto her dress. Ada placed the papers on the table. Have you chosen? She asked. Cunnel's voice was low. We will sign. He looked like a man who had not slept. His shoulders were down. His eyes were dull. They had talked. They had counted the cost. They knew prison would be worse. Ada brought out a pen and pointed to the first page. Sign here, she said. Cunnel bent over the table and signed his name. His hand shook. He moved from page to page, signing and initialing. Each mark on paper cut one tie between him and Amaka. You understand the terms, Ada reminded him. Full custody to Amaka. No visitation. Child support every month. You stay away from them. He nodded, lips tight. Next, she brought out another document for Mama Cunnel and Beezy. This one says you will move out, she said. No claim to this house. No contact with Amaka or Zara. They signed too, faces full of anger and shame. When everything was done, Ada gathered the papers and put them in a file. These documents are binding, she said. If you break them, we go straight to court. No more talking. She turned to Amaka. Take Zara, she said softly. Go to the car and wait for me. Amaka did as she was told. For the first time, she walked out of that house with her head not completely bent. Ada faced the three of them one last time. "You have until tomorrow evening to pack your things and leave," she said. "If you are still here when I come with a court order, it will not be friendly." They said nothing. In the weeks that followed, Ada filed the divorce properly and represented Amaka in family court. Kunal tried once to change the story, to say the bruises were accidents, to say Amaka was the problem. Ada brought everything: pictures, videos, hospital notes, audio of his threats, recordings of the poisoning plan. The judge listened and watched in silence. At the end, the judge's decision was clear. Full custody to Amaka. No visitation for Kunal. No private contact. Child support to be paid every month. Kunal left the court with his lawyer, looking smaller than ever. Mama Kunal and Beezy sat at the back, holding their bags, eyes red. Amaka walked out of the court building with Zara's small hand in hers and Ada by her side. This time, she was not walking into fear. She was walking into freedom. After the court decision, Amaka stayed in the Surulere house with Zara. The main difference was simple: peace. No more shouting at night, no more hiding marks, no more listening for keys at the door with fear in her chest. Ada helped her change the locks and file every important paper and court order in a safe place. Not to live in panic, but to make sure nobody could easily shake her life again. Fear did not vanish at once. A loud knock still made Amaka jump. A strange number on her phone still made her hand shake. But each time the danger turned out to be normal life, the fear lost a little strength. Soon, Amaka went back to teaching. On the first day, her voice was small. By the end of the week, she was correcting homework and laughing at small jokes. She came home tired, but it was ordinary tiredness, not the pain and tension of before. Zara changed quickly. She stopped tiptoeing. She sang around the house. At school, her teacher said she now answered questions freely. Her drawings showed herself and her mother holding hands and smiling. Many times, she drew a third person beside them. "That is Auntie Ada," she would say. "The one that helped us." Kunal tried once to open the case again, asking family court for a chance with Zara. Ada replied with the same file of photos, hospital notes, recorded threats, and a short report from a child counselor. The judge kept the restraining order and refused his request. The law now clearly stood on Amaka and Zara's side. Life still had bills and Lagos stress. Some nights, bad memories tried to return. But when Amaka locked her door and lay beside Zara, she was not waiting for anger. She listened to her daughter's calm breathing and knew she had chosen life. Many evenings, Ada visited. After Zara slept, the twins sat at the table, drinking tea and talking about work, church, and small gist. Sometimes they fell quiet, thinking about how easily Amaka could have become another sad story. "We missed the signs before," Ada said one night. "For other women, we won't pretend not to see." They made a quiet promise. If they saw another woman always covering her body, pulling away from people, or shrinking when her partner spoke, they would not look away. They would ask, "Are you safe? Do you want help?" Later, Ada recorded a short message on her phone. She explained in simple words how love can turn to control, control to insults, insults to blows, and fear can keep mouths shut. She did not call names, but any woman in that kind of house would recognize the pattern. Her words were clear: if you live like that, it is not your shame. You deserve safety. Start keeping small proof. Tell someone you trust. Look for help. If you are the friend or sister watching from outside, don't just say, "It is their marriage." Pay attention. Stand close. Support. When Amaka watched the video, she squeezed Ada's hand. "You gave my pain meaning," she said. Ada shook her head. "Your courage gave it meaning. I only helped people hear it." In one Lagos house, a woman and her child now laughed without fear. For Ada, that quiet sound was the best judgment any court could ever give. Wow, bestie, that one touched deep, didn't it? Life really has a funny way of teaching us lessons through people we least expect. If you felt this story like I did, drop it in the comments. And don't forget, your bestie's got more stories coming your way, so hit subscribe and stay close. Till next time, stay kind, stay real, and stay my bestie. Because you know your bestie never runs out of stories.